Hello, everybody. Not that anyone's out there yet, and even if they were, they probably don't care or don't have their headset on yet. But hey, hello, everybody. How are you today? We're going to be streaming with some Druid on the ladder, mostly because that's my dailies, and I'm not legend, so I care, and I don't have all this stuff, so I actually care about dailies. We're going to be tooling around, try to kill some people with giant stuff. And yeah, Druid. I mean, it's not exactly the most complicated deck in the format. We're just going to ramp, kill, repeat, call it a day. I mean, that's basically all we do. Ramp, kill, repeat. I am really looking forward to Standard, though. That's going to be a thing. I feel like it strengthens the game a lot to have cards, have more of the new cards able to break into the format. Because right now, most cards just can't break in. They're not good enough. So, without further ado, we're throwing back our entire hand, looking for Wild Growth and other ramp spells. Removal is also always nice against a mage.
My greetings.
I mean, yeah, this is going to be a pretty simple, straightforward first few turns. We're going to Wild Growth. Then at some point, we're probably going to Wrath that off the board because we don't like it. Well, it's entirely possible we're going for the turn 2, or the turn 3 Nourish, just because, I don't know, we like drawing cards, but we also like mana. I don't know. I think it's probably better to just go ahead and Wrath instead of going after, or we could silence the Mana Worm, but that seems like a softer line of play. So yeah, we'll just kill that, hero power, go to the dome for one,
Well played.
and see what happens. Hopefully we draw something good so that we don't need to Nourish next turn. I mean, at this point we're just going to Nourish for cards anyways. Alright, so it's definitely Nourish for cards. We've got this Innervate to make sure that whatever we get next is pretty strong. Alright, so that was a really bad Nourish. Not much else to say about it. We didn't seem to hit any of our actual threats, but at least we've got a bunch of cards in hand. We can always go for a giant Darnassus Aspirant if we want to, which might be the line of play if nothing else comes up. Okay, so scratch that. Innervate Ironbark. My taunt's bigger. I sound like the Republican primaries. Mine's bigger than yours is. I just trumped your bear. Ha 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 ha. Yeah.
I serve the Fire Lord.
Okay, so he's going to try and finish off my Ironbark by throwing spells and stuff at me. I don't think that's going to work out. Given the board state, I don't think it's a good idea to play this with +5 attack, even though I'd love to have it be huge, so yeah, we're just going to +5 health and taunt. Opponent's going to have to deal with a lot of giant threats, and we're going to keep punching and keep punching and keep punching until not much is left. Granted, he seems to be getting reasonably lucky, as evidenced by that. Alright, so I don't hate just silencing and then taunting up on a keeper.
I must safeguard the land.
And I think I'll just mark it. Go to the dome again. Our keeper is big enough to kill a Flame Waker, so he has to either poly or bolt or fireball it, both of which we're willing to deal with. Okay. I don't care about a Fen Creeper in the slightest. That's cute. The good news is we have to start drawing cards that actually do things sometime soon, just because we're pretty much running out of cards that do nothing.
I wonder.
We could Hero Power and Starfall, but that's pretty bad here. We can charge this in. Again, we just don't have any pretty options. I could deal 2 and charge, or deal 2 and punch. I don't hate that.
I must safeguard.
Time waits for no one.
Feel nature's wrath.
And we can charge this and kill his Flame Waker. If he has the Blizzard here, we're in a pretty bad spot, but if he
Well
doesn't
played.
have it, then
I serve
okay.
the Fire Lord.
Flame Waker Arcane Missiles is kind of a pain in the ass, especially if he hits well, like he's doing right now. But not much we can do about him just having all the cards that do things. And at the very least, we're keeping him off of anything particularly strong. And he's not going to the face a whole lot, so here I think we Starfall and drop an Aspirant just to have a thing. I don't want to run out both of them,
Elune, guide my land.
just because then we can potentially be off of 10 mana next turn. And I think we'll go ahead and mark this up just to have a relevant body on board. Ship the turn back. And hopefully we start drawing our cards that actually do things sometime soon. It's always not fun to ramp into doing literally nothing like we've been doing this game. I mean, granted, he's been burning a lot of his higher powered spells, not accomplishing much. So at least we've got that going for us. But yeah, this is why, just because if you had a way to deal with 2 of them,
Well played.
we'd be in a world of hurt. We're going to assume that that's a mirror entity, which would really suck.
Elune, guide
So we're going
my
to drop a
lands.
Darnassus Aspirate here. Yeah, mirror entity.
Elune, guide my lands.
Then we'll go ahead and
For the wilds.
get some armor going and punch him in the face. Not going to burn a swipe. Might mark this, except we don't really want to. We'd just rather have that for a bigger threat down the road. Basically any card we draw is bigger than this thing, so yeah, I mean, even if we taunted, this thing's just about dead regardless. Next turn we can trade our... Okay, yeah. So next turn we can just swipe off those 2. Which is a good thing because we seem to have nothing else going for us.
For the
Keep getting some
wild.
armor, keep punching with the hero power,
Well
and
played.
in general just sort of be bored until we draw cards that do things. The only good news is
You
all these
want
turns
it?
doing nothing are really strong for building up some armor to prevent any sort of bursty 2 spells dead situations. We've got another swipe, which is not perfect here, but at least it deals with that Conjurer, unless it's a counter spell, which I doubt, but it could be. There is the very real risk that that's a duplicate, though, and we can't afford that. So I think the correct answer is just to play this and taunt it, so that he at least has to trade a
Well
card
played.
into it, or at least has to trade his Conjurer plus something else into it.
For the wild.
probably just a Fire Blast, but even so, it kills the Conjurer. That's what we care about right now. Eventually, we're going to have to draw a card that has actual power on it. Okay, or you can have a Fireball, but that's not going upstairs, so there's that at least. Okay, we might just have to run into the duplicate here. But I feel like we'd rather make that the Mana Worm. Okay. So here, if we swipe Tazdingo,
I wonder.
then we're wasting most of our Savage Combatant's potential. Plus, we don't want him to have a second Tazdingo. But we're just not going to get the board cleaned up right now. We don't want to swipe the
What to do?
Conjurer under any circumstances because of that. Oh, Effigy. Interesting.
Well played.
Well,
Time waits for no one.
I guess we go ahead and push Tazdingo down to 1. Ship the turn back. Take our, what, 9? Since he's probably going to ping his egg, which was not exactly the top thing we would have wanted him to get. We can hope he trades something into my combatant, like the Conjurer.
Someday I'll be just like you.
I'd rather not be eating that 6. Okay, so he's got spells for it. And it looks like he's just trying to finish this off now. Really need to draw some sort of massive taunt threat, and that is not a massive taunt threat, so we're just going to punch his Tazdingo, play a Chromagus, and scoop because we can't do anything.
I concede.
And this is what happens when you draw basically 3 cards that actually have an impact after ramping. I might be running a few too many low impact spells right now. And I think I'm going to take a look at that real quick. See what we can do about tuning this a tad. Just to make sure it's doing what we want it to do. I'm tempted to run the second Nourish. Especially since, frankly, I couldn't care less about some of these cards. Like, a couple of these cards just aren't providing enough benefit for the cost. I mean, granted, half of that was just not drawing anything that does stuff. But part of it was... I mean, part of it was bad luck. Part of it was just not having enough high-impact cards, I think. Yeah, we've only got like 8 bigger threats, so I guess that might be part of the problem. I think we can get rid of this combatant, add in the second Nourish, I kind of want to replace this Healbot with a Starfire, and then toss in a Nefarian. Just because big dude and extra big dude extra cards. So we're gonna try it with this reconfiguration. See if we can't get a little more success with another big threat, another piece of decent removal. A little more card draw, just because we've got to get into the cards that really impact the board, or we're massively behind.
Malfurion!
Alright, Shaman.
Thrall!
This can be a pretty good matchup, assuming we get off to a decent rampy start. Otherwise, we're going to die horribly. because they're just going to burst us down before we really do anything. Aspirant is not ideal, but we'll take the mana crystal, I guess. So yeah, Starfall can be decent if if they run out a bunch of totems. I mean, it's not a great hand, but it's got action between the Keeper, the Starfall, the Aspirant to try and keep the board clean, do things. Plus, any number of taunts against them is always good. So yeah, we'll just run it out there and see what happens. Pretty much par for the course. Alright. Pretty
Elune,
straightforward.
guide my lands.
Ramp, because ramp.
Greetings from beyond the grave.
Okay. We don't actually want him to have that, so I think we're just going to kill it with our
I must safeguard the land.
Keeper. Get pummeling. Next turn we've got Druid of Claw for a early taunt. And yeah, we're just going to try and keep the board relatively clean. Not much else to say about it. I mean, pretty straightforward matchup.
Where shall I strike? Nature's wrath.
I'm not entirely sure what this particular shaman is up to right now. I'm generally used to them having a little more early action. Just trying to get in some sort of chip shots. Zombie Chow is definitely not what I'd expect, just because usually they're trying to just get a couple of points of damage down and call it a day. I mean, I can just Wrath that off. I kind of want to Wrath the... I want to cycle my Wrath on the Totem. Always worth. And we'll just kill that and get in for a couple of points. Armor, punch again. I mean, right now we're really just doing stuff, and our opponent is not. So, yeah. Alright. He's either got a terrible hand or he's doing something we're definitely not expecting. This turn is probably just a pretty straightforward Nourish. I'm guessing he was looking for spell power to make a Lightning Storm not suck, and it didn't work out.
Wonder.
I mean, here we're just going to Hero Power, punch the Totem,
Wild.
get in for 8,
Feel nature's wrath.
draw 3.
Job's done.
Alright, and now we've got some serious threats. This game is pretty much just locked up and in the bag. If he gets any sort of board developed, we drop KT and clean up. If he doesn't get a board developed, then we just keep killing him. Healing Wave. Are we dealing with some sort of arena list? I mean, that could explain the complete lack of doing things. If we swipe him, we can do 12 this turn. If we Starfire Hero Power, we can do 14 this turn. Or we can just boom, because boom. I mean, boom's always good. Let's just do that. Punch there. That was a definite misclick. Whatever. I think we're still alright. And if he does something this turn that we care about, we drop KT. Otherwise, we kill him. I mean, sure, lightning storm. That's cute. And fairly lucky on the bombs. I mean, we've still just got lethal on board, so yeah, whatever. I mean, he's just dead. So let's kill him.
Heal nature's wrath.
And yeah, that's pretty much what we're going for. The extra merge particularly, I think, helps there just to make sure we're drawing the cards we need. Drawing cards always strong in a strategy like this since our early game. Pardon me, we've got something at the door.
Malfurion versus Garrosh.
Victory or death!
I must protect the wild.
And that hand was kind of awkward, but thankfully we got back in time to actually take a mulligan, and we'll deal with what we got. The good news is we can get out a fairly early nourish to make up for the fact that we have basically nothing. We could growth on 1 to have 3 mana on 2, but that doesn't seem particularly strong compared to having 5 mana on 3. So yeah, we're going to draw cards, we're going to ramp, and we're going to do all those things Druids like to do. We're going to play cards and we're going to do things.
Let the pain speak to me.
Alright, we don't have a Wrath, so... Oh, correction. We didn't have a Wrath. So we'll just kill that thing and punch our opponent in the face. Keep that on.
For the wild.
And start generating our own armor, of course. The good news is, since we're capable of getting armor theoretically, some of the cards we can hit off Nefarian that would otherwise be duds aren't necessarily duds. Of course, on the other hand, they probably are. Alright, so we're just going to nourish, get up to a jam-packed grip, have things to do next turn, like, say, boom next turn into whatever. We can follow up a boom with, I don't know, maybe a Mark of the Wild on boom? That doesn't seem half bad.
Blood and plunder.
Alright. Sure. Reasonably solid turn from our opponent, but we don't actually care that much. We're just going to coin out a boom. Start dealing with our threats, our board state, because we don't want our opponent to get any kind of developed anything going. I assume we're going to see some sort of attack in the boom, but unless he wants to trade off with himself, which apparently he does. Getting in my face. Alright. That seems a little dangerous since we've got the strong potential to do stuff like Wrath one thing, silence another thing. Or we could just taunt and mark, which doesn't seem half bad. I guess first we should go ahead and...
What to...
I really don't like punching there, though. Just because of this stupid armor smith. But on the other hand, most of our threats, we don't care what his armor looks like. So let's go ahead and punch first, just in case we get some sort of trigger off of... I'm seeing no Doomsayer. We can hope to finish off this taunt, maybe. Or to just do nothing relevant whatsoever. whatsoever. That's also a thing.
Where shall I
So we're gonna pick
strike?
up some taunt.
I'm waiting
Some
for no
scary taunt.
one. Job done.
To try and have that still on the board next turn, or at least to force him to trade our entire board into it, or his entire board into us. And then we can just Ysera,
My blade be thirsty.
not right away, but... Alright, next turn, he's silencing. There's the other execute. Alright, so next turn we're probably going to be silencing. I would swipe the Berserker, but that kind of sucks. I mean, I could swipe the Berserker, Wrath the Armor Smith.
I wonder.
Or we swipe the Armor Smith. Wrath the Berserker. Hero power.
For the wild. Job done.
And then next turn we Nefarian or Ysera into a relatively empty board, which is generally not a bad place to be. It's probably just going to be Ysera since Nefarian can hit some pretty bricky cards. And also, especially now with this Ironback to drop next turn,
dream and the world
and him out of executes. Like, we can possibly start getting multiple cards off Ysera and just go for it. And that Dream has real potential to get us a second Ysera. Alright.
Everyone, get in
That's
here!
going to be a problem. We have absolutely no AoE that can actually deal with that.
Get in here! Everyone, get in! Everyone, get in! Everyone, get in here!
I mean, that is, in fact, a lot of patrons. But on the other hand, we can have a 10-10 taunt in play if we want to. Which will kill at least two of those. At least the big two. Which isn't half bad.
I wonder.
And then we can just start trying to clean up the board. Well, I think we just want an 8-8 taunt. He still has to trade at least two dudes into it. We can use Ysera to clean up another one. We can even dream Ysera back to our hand. So here we're
I'm
going
waiting for no one.
hero
For
power,
the wild.
kill one of the 5 ones,
I shall
kill the other 5, dream Ysera so that he can't finish her off, leave him with a board where he has to trade off most of his patrons to clean up the Ironbark. And he's used most of his ability to make patrons strong at this point, or to make extra patrons. Okay, so now it's just 2 patrons, but he's still trading off 2 of them.
Everyone, get in! Everyone, get in!
But on the other hand, we can taunt up Ysera next turn and have 14 toughness of taunt.
Get in here!
Assuming we live. So we can taunt up Ysera, kill one of his... we've got 11 mana available right now, which is exactly enough to taunt up Ysera. And I think that's the only plausible out.
I dream
So,
and the world trembles.
We go ahead and we do that.
Job's done.
That's going to take most of the patrons, although he's going to get more when he pops the Death Bite. And that was not the card we needed. I was really hoping for Ysera Awakens, because that will let me clean up all of them. But here he's going to have to trade off almost all of his patrons. At which point he's going to finish her with the Death Bite, yeah, and reload on patrons. Yeah, I mean, we're just probably not surviving this.
Everyone, get in! Everyone, get in here!
Yeah, and that's it. What we can, but not much we can do when they're able to get 1,000,000 patrons out. This is not going to be a good day at this rate, I guess. We're just sort of bouncing around the same rank over and over again. I wouldn't really even be on Druid yet, just because, frankly, I don't like it at low ranks of the ladder. I don't like most decks that require playing around things at lower ranks of the ladder. Granted, most people should be playing around me, but
Malfurion
I do have to. I am fairly reactive with this deck.
Let
I'd
the
rather be
hunt
proactive at
I must
lower ranks.
protect the wild.
But I do need to get my dailies done, so I'm going to tolerate the fact that this is actually not the deck I want to be on right now. Or this hand. I don't want this hand either. Yet another reason I barely ever play Druid. But hey. If we can pick up, I don't know, we might not play much more Druid. Might just switch it over to Hunter soon. I was kind of enjoying that random ass jank mech thing I was doing yesterday, so. Okay.
Elune, guide
He's
my
getting in my
lands.
face. I've got ways to make him back down some, or at least try to control the board. Unfortunately, he's probably got quick shot. Alright. I could swipe next turn, but that seems pretty bad. Instead, I think I'd rather
For the wild.
punch in here. Alright.
For Elune.
Job's done.
Freezing trap, got it. That's fine. Seeing as it didn't actually die, that was actually really good, since now we don't lose our mana crystal.
I'll show them all!
And if he keeps running out things, then we can... I mean, right now, I think I just want
For
to
the wild.
kill off another web spinner. Shit. Start developing my board soon, like next turn, with possibly an aspirant and a mark. Just because that puts me on 8 mana the next turn. So yeah, I'm going to aspirant mark and then KT the turn after that. Because I don't want to KT with a aspirant. If you can kill it over and over again, we're in a bad, bad place. On the other hand, I can Keeper
I must safeguard the land.
to this. Keeper.
Job's done.
And go for KT next turn, or not next turn, Boom next turn into KT the turn after that, since I didn't aspirant again. But yeah, if I can get Boom into KT up against a Hunter, I feel like the game is probably just over. I'm just not going to attack before I do that. That way I can throw Boom Bots at Freezing Trap and whatever that is. Probably Bear, but I don't actually much care. Let's go ahead and Wrath this off instead of dropping Boom.
For Sylvanus.
Alright, I guess we can
Feel
attack
nature's wrath.
here. Sure, another Freezing Trap, but we don't mind getting that back necessarily, so we can tolerate it, and
For the wild.
we'll just go straight in here.
Job's
Explosive. Spicy. Except for the part where, it just got nothing. But hey, still spicy-ish. Or not. Either way. So next turn we've got a Keeper again. It's expensive, but we don't hate it. We can take out his 3-2 there. Or we can just run out Boom, hope he goes face, and follow it with KT. I feel like he's in a position where he's probably going to go face if we Boom. So, yeah, let's do that. Run out the boom. If he goes face, which he's Hunter, it's not unreasonable, then we drop KT and we mow him down pretty hard with boom bots. And if he cleans up the board, then we... Or if he cleans up the boom, I should say, because he can't really kill off the entire board. Well, he can't apparently have his own KT. And he is going face. That's excellent. Or his own... He's got his own boom. We can... KT... And then we have Innervate and Wrath available. Which, yeah, that lets us just mop him up completely.
Minions, servants, soldiers of the cold dark, obey
Nearly
the
completely.
call.
3 damage to his meter here. Kill off his boom. Punch this thing once. Punch this thing once. Get super lucky, except for the part where we just about died.
Time waits for no one.
And we're dead too. Steady shot. But hey, it was worth a shot. And that was still the correct line of play, we just happened to not be lucky. You could just steady shot me, dude. I wouldn't be offended in the slightest. And I would laugh hysterically if I drew something to heal if you decided to leave me alive this turn. Yeah. So he doesn't get stupid and cocky, which is a pretty funny that he heal bot. Unless I took that out, which I might have. I'm not paying attention. But yeah. So, bad luck there, but it was entirely winnable. It was just good old Boom being good old Boom. That card really needs to... I think I'm going back to Hunter, just because, frankly, I like being the aggro, the beatdown right now. I don't want to deal with all these, I don't want to deal with trying to react to other people. I want them reacting to me, and this Mech Hunter shenanigans pile I was doing yesterday is pretty good for that. So, yeah, that's the plan right now.
Rexa
I mean, I'm really just, I don't know, feeling a little bit
For
lazy this season.
Doomhammer, let the hunt begin.
Alright. So I basically just love this hand. Cogmaster and a Mech Warper and a Gorilla Bot is a pretty good hand. Gorilla Bot can get a little bit out of control. That's assuming that our opponent doesn't have a way to make that a terrible line, of course. But, hey. Alright, so yeah. We're just going to do exactly
I
that.
can fix anything.
Curious what he's got going. I'm assuming it's some sort of face and not like that last Murlocs. Interesting. I was definitely not expecting a Murloc death.
Hurry up.
I
Portal
know it can
online.
theoretically happen, but it doesn't see a whole lot of play that I've seen. And by that I mean I've never seen this deck. Or it could just be typical face and he's burning Rockbiters on keeping me down early turns. I'm actually still comfortable with that because I do have good, strong bodies to drop. And eventually he has to actually kill me.
Join or die. Or both.
Definitely wasn't expecting Master, especially for minimal value like that. So here I actually don't hate Glavezuka into Glavezuka Mad Scientist, just because it lets me kill his Cold Master.
I'll show them.
I hunt him low.
Show them all.
Mad Scientist in play, and that gets me towards Freezing Trap, which is pretty good to deal with him. I've still got a mech for Gorilla Bot, and if I can get out 2 or 3 mechs before I drop this Leaper, I'm in a great spot. Okay. If he's shocking my Scientist, then that's gotta mean he's got a rough hand for dealing with what I'm doing. It also means he's not shocking a Shredder next turn, which seems like it's really where he'd rather be. So we're gonna start Gorilla Bot. I actually don't hate this Force Tank, just because let's take a giant friggin' dude that you can't deal with. And we can point it out in a couple of turns. And then just have a thing he has trouble dealing with. Plus we can Leaper next turn. If we go we can't Shredder into Leaper, but if we hit like a Spider Tank or anything interesting, and yeah, we've still got a decent turn.
What?
And even if it's just 2 mechs getting Leapered, I don't hate it. 2 mech Leaper and a steady shot is a perfectly functional turn, especially into an empty board. I assume I'm going to see a Lightning Storm sometime soon. He's got to start dealing with me.
What to do?
I mean, this guy is just so far on the back foot right now until he does something along those lines. Alright. A naked warrior. Yeah.
There's little
This is.
time.
I mean, I guess he's just trying to beat me down with Murlocs, but I feel like his deck gets really rough when he runs out of his synergy. So yeah, we're just going to trap, trade, not trade, Shredder. Then next turn we can coin out a Force Tank, and the turn following that we have Leaper, which seems really good. Yeah, he's just trying to play lots and lots of Murlocs and kill those Murlocs, which is fine if he's able to get Murlocs on the board. That hasn't been working so well for him so far. Looks like he might actually be able to get some Murlocs out this time around, but on the other hand, we can still keep the board just controlled enough that it doesn't matter too much. And he hasn't got much in the way of beating Murlocs, so we'll just pass the turn back, make him clean up my board again, and I will happily Leaper this Force Tank next turn, put him on a 2-turn clock with Divine Shield on it. And I'll also have a Spider Tank to drop at the same time, so. Plus his first dude swinging in is going back to his hand. I feel like I probably got this locked up. Okay, a Hex is a problem. Not gonna lie. Sure. So he trades off one of his dudes into my board. Are you really going to the dark? That seems risky because it could have been a bear trap, which would be horrible for his board to deal with. And the fact that he's leaving me an extra mech alive is glorious. So I'm torn between Spider Tank and Yeti here. Yeti has the extra health, which probably makes it the correct play. But I can also shot if I drop the Spider Tank. So yeah, we're going to drop the Spider Tank, drop the Leaper, steady shot. Get in for a little damage. Guarantee that he's got anything to do to clean up my board, and even then, he's got to clean up my entire board this turn, or he's probably just dead. I've got exactly one dude he can leave alive without dying. And I don't think the Shaman Anyfin card is going to kill me here with just 3 Murlocs. Especially seeing as 2 of them can't attack. Cold Light's here. That's great, dude. Congratulations. Your Murlocs have health. You don't. Which means you're probably just fucking dead. Yeah. So he's clean. I guess he was hoping for a Doomsayer? Yeah. That's bullshit. I think that clears up at least one of the 2 dailies. Anyways, I will be back shortly. I'm going to take a quick break, and then we'll get back to trying the ladder. I'm back now, freshly reloaded on caffeine and freshly cancered, so let's do some more. See if we can't actually rank up a little bit.
Rexa versus Uther.
I will fight with honor. Let the hunt begin.
So this hand is fine. I'm probably going to coin the Mech Warper and Spider Tank because that's a pretty good start.
Hurry up! Portals online!
And if we can curve a little bit and then Leaper, then we'll just crush him if he doesn't have a fast start.
Shields up. Red alert.
So mini bot, we're not getting more than one mech out cheap, but we're okay with that. Crash for 2.
Job's done.
Or actually, we're getting another mech out cheap next turn, most likely, because he can't just trade the mini bot unless he's got a blessing.
Don't
or
worry,
something.
loves. The cavalry's here.
Or if he has another dude. We're okay with that. 2 shields. We don't have an ideal play this turn. The best thing we can do is drop a Cogmaster and
I
shot.
can fix anything.
We don't hate that. We just Cogmaster, shot, kill the shielded mini bot with our tank, so we can get 2 for 1. Potentially later. That's fine, we've got Shredder now. Both of which are solid cards for this situation. I think we want Gorilla Bot just for the extra point of toughness. Or health, sorry.
Job's done.
Magic terms and all that, you know. Right. I keep forgetting that it doesn't actually do anything unless we have a mech. One of these days I'm going to start remembering that. Yeah, this is not going to go well, especially after that derp-ass move. We're just going to get beat down. I mean, I guess we can Shredder Gnome.
I am ready.
At which point we probably want to clean up the board, and if he doesn't clean up the board, we'll clean up the board. Or we could double Leaper next turn for... Fair chunk. Yeah, he's cleaning up the board. Otherwise, we wouldn't
Reporting
bother
for duty.
silencing. We can hope for a Doomsayer. Alright, taking 6. We're taking 6 there. We're in a bad place. Trade that in there. We can Scientist,
I'll show them. I'll show them all.
Quick Shot, and Freeze. Which at least forces him to trade off a charge and a dude. I mean, that's not a good board spot, but a good board position, but I think it's the best we got. Yeah, we're just totally boned.
Reporting for
At this
duty.
point, we're so far behind on board that the fast route is too easy.
I can see.
Save ourselves a couple of minutes. We don't have any draws to get us out of that. It's possible this deck wants like one copy of Defender in it, except we're usually pretty hard on curve already. It's not like we're playing 2 or 3 dudes in a turn most of the time. It might be approaching the point where we can just start running Reno out there
Versus Malfurion.
into the ladder,
I must protect
which would be nice because I strongly prefer
Let
Reno
the
decks
hunt
to
begin.
random ass shenanigans. It's a lot more fun. Plus the versatility is strong. I mean, we all know I love my Reno decks. It tends to be something I play a lot of. Curve is not great here. The best we can hope for is Mech Warper into Yeti. depending on what he's dropping here. But for 4 mana, I don't think we're Mech Warper into Yeti at all.
Unleash the
Okay.
beast.
So our Mech Warper is not surviving.
Job's done.
So we're going to Steady Shot. Next turn we're going to Bow, I guess. We could have gone for Mech Warper just so he'd trade it, except he would have just punched it with that, with his hero power, so yeah. Freezing Trap here is not bad, because he ramped so hard to play Combatant. Coin and Innervate, wasted. That pushes us... pushes him back a couple of turns on what he's been doing. Gives us a turn 4 where we... what, double Mech Warper?
Mind if I roll need?
I mean, yeah, I think we just double Mech Warper here, and even Clockwork, which is better. So yeah,
Powering up. Portals
we
online.
can either do that, or we can Spider Tank, Clockwork,
Am ready.
Job's done.
and then next turn we can Mech Warper, Yeti, Bow. Which seems pretty strong. No, he's gonna Hero Power and trade the Loot Hoarder, so... Or is he gonna Wrath? Either way, we're gonna have 2 mechs out, and we'll be able to at least Mech Warper Yeti next turn, which is fine. I mean, I don't hate spending 5 mana on 2 dudes. 2 reasonably sized dudes at that. I mean, all we really care about is getting enough on the board at a time to keep him down. I'm definitely not going to drop Shredder here just
Powering
because,
up.
well,
Portals
I might.
online.
Because Shredder's still in a pretty strong spot against Swipe. We'll take that down with make him have the Swipe, at which point he has to decide which of the 3 toughness guys he wants to kill. Yeah, so the Swipe's landing on the Spider Tank, which isn't surprising, but it leaves us with, oh, one hell of a turn. That's beautiful. So we drop the Gorilla Bot, take ourselves, I mean, another Mech Warper is kind of gold here, but I'm not sure it's what we need compared to this Force Tank, which is always a cute threat. And then we'll Mechanical Yeti, just have some power on the board, and keep getting in his face. He needs to have... I mean, another Swipe here doesn't cut it. I wasn't expecting a Mountain Giant. I certainly wouldn't have minded seeing... What have we got? We've got 8, 10, 15, 17 points of damage right now. Let's just freeze that damn thing. Wait, we've got... Oh, what a damage. He's in 2. He dies next turn. We don't. That seems like the correct line of play. Because now he either has to have some sort of big-ass heal, or some sort of big-ass taunt. And even that might not be enough.
We're gonna
No,
be
it needs to
rich.
heal. Okay, Reno. So Reno Druid. Not something I was expecting, but okay. I guess we start by trading into his giant so that he can't taunt it out. So we get... Well, Flame Tongue's cute. Especially if we can hit a leaper, we might be able... Well, we're still going to do this. We're going to Gorilla Bot. Because Gorilla Bot... I mean, mean, Sneed seems pretty good here. We can trade our Mech Warper that is barely doing us any good at this point, and our other bow charge into his Reno.
Moves quickly.
Yeah. So I trade there. Should have played the Spider-Man first. Here. Steady shot. Next turn we've got Time Rewinder. We might save the Time Rewinder. I mean, getting another Gorilla Bot seems really strong here, but I'd almost rather save the Time Rewinder for a Leaper, just because Time Rewinder on Leaper is busted. And I think he would just die at that point.
Your magic shall
Alright,
not
so Spellbreaker on Flame Tongue. But we've still got potentially a Leaper coming up. I mean, we've got 2 copies in there somewhere. We haven't seen a Leaper yet.
Outdoors.
Alright. So what do we got? That's just a Shredder. We don't care about a Shredder that much. So I feel like our Force Tank and rewinding a Gorilla Bot is probably correct. So yeah. We'll just go down and rewind a Gorilla Bot for more value.
Job's done.
Because we like getting extra dudes. And we could potentially hit a Leaper, which would be lovely. I mean, right now, he's nearly just dead. He's got to be able to do something. Yeah, so he's taunting up. Because he's got to do something. He's going to trade into some of the guys. I'm not sure why he chose that one. Alright, so the Blavezuka has some value potential. But we're going to start with Gorilla Bot. We're definitely just taking the Sky Golem. Because stats are always strong against a Druid. But this turn, we just trap Shredder.
Job's done.
And then next turn we can Sneeds and Glavezuka, or Glavezuka and then Sneeds, really. Now, granted, with Freezing Trap, we have the potential of him getting another Cenarius trigger, but that would require him having an Innervate to do it. And if it's Grove Tender, we get cards. And we're fine with cards. We like cards. Cenarius can't kill anything. We've got Lethal on board. He's got to do something. And that is what counts. Opponent is not dictating anything to me. Alright. Not sure what the point of that was. He's still dead on board. He's got to kill a thing, which means Cenarius is swinging into something way smaller than the Force Tank.
I'm waiting
And that
for no
doesn't
one.
save him. It just slows down me killing him. I don't actually know what line he could have to get out of this.
Shields up.
Starfall in a turn may help. Yeah, so we're just gonna Sneed's old Shredder. Or no, we're not gonna Sneed's old Shredder. Who am I kidding? Yeah, we are. We're gonna Sneed's old Shredder. We're going to kill off his taunts. We're going to Sneed's old Shredder and Hero Power. Or do we boom in Hero Power? No, I feel like we just boom in Hero Power. Or Shredder and Power, and keep him on the back foot so he's trading into our guys. Because he's at 8, he's already renoed. I mean, he's got to trade with Sneeds and hope it doesn't kill him, I I think, unless he has Force Roar. But that's less likely to happen in Arena list, I feel. So we have to run that risk a little bit, just because there comes a point where we have to kill him. Yeah. He doesn't have lethal, which means he's still trading with us. Next turn we can Glaive Zuka and Boom, or Sky Golem and Glaive Zuka. Either way.
Time waits for no one.
Probably going to be Boom, just because there's a chance of a Leaper sometime soon. There's got to be a Leaper somewhere in this deck.
I
We've
bring
got 2 of them.
life and darkness.
Alright, so it's Alexstrasza to heal. Alright, let's try a companion for starters. See what we
My
get.
side.
Excellent. So that lets us trade into his Alex quite cleanly, which also gives us Chill. That's glorious. And we'll drop Boom behind the Chillmaw. Pass the turn back with yet another strong lead. Alright. So now he's just drawing cards in desperation mode. Granted, drawing cards good, but I don't feel like he's in a great place to do much with those cards. We've got 15 on board. He almost has no way to survive because Swipe and Starfall are really bad against Boom. He's already run out 2 silences, which means he's probably out of them, except for a Keeper of the Grove. Okay, so he's going to kill Chillmaw, which is reasonable.
Time waits for no one.
Run out of Glaive Zuka. I mean, he's not dead yet. Except for the part where he has to somehow clean up my board without popping the moon butts. So he's dead yet. You know, same difference. I don't see him getting out of this. I mean, a Molten Giant's cute. A Taunted Molten Giant is cute.
By the power of Ragnarok,
But
I
I have
have the
a hunch that my 2 robots is more than enough to either kill him or kill this giant and
I
still have some
concede.
power. Yeah. I mean, even if not, he's dead. One way or another. You got like 12 ways to kill him. And yeah, we'll just move on to the next game. I mean, this list is somewhat unexciting, but we just do what we do. Present threats, let them deal with it. And that was nearly 60 health we had to punch through that game because of the Reno. I mean, plus he had a whole lot of taunts,
Rexa!
and we just had
Versus
enough to
Thrall.
punch past all of it, which is not
for
bad.
Doomhammer. Let the
This
hunt
hand, on the other
begin.
hand, is somewhere between trash and worse. I don't hate Gorilla Bots, except for the part where I don't roll in the opening hand without a Mech Warper. So, throw everything back. That's a terrible hand as well. The best I can do is Cogmaster and turn 2 coin out a Leaper right now, which is bad. I really despise this hand. Especially into what is apparently another aggro deck. The only good news is my Cogmaster is pretty good against that, so he's probably going to drop a Bluegill, or Charge Murloc, whatever it's called. No, he doesn't have that. That's good. So we can trade with his Murloc. I'm not sure why he ran out an Oracle on turn 1 into an otherwise empty board.
I'll fix
So
you!
we'll just go ahead and kill that. Point out a Spider Tail. next turn we can Leaper to get on the beatdown plan. I mean, I don't want to Leaper here, but it's either that or just drop Freezing Trap, which might actually be better, especially since he doesn't have anything that can attack yet. I'm not entirely sure. Also depends on what we draw next turn. So there's definitely better cards we would have in hand. Okay. So I think we just drop a Mech Warper and kill a couple of totems.
Powering up. Portal online.
Next turn, we have the option of either dropping some number of dudes. Okay. Murkai, I assume is going to go to the dome because he doesn't want to just waste it. But that's pretty much what he's done here. I'm not entirely positive what his plan is, unless it's to try and make me race. Okay, so he's going to kill Cogmaster with it, which is fine. So now we're definitely going to save this Leaper. So at this point we'll just drop a Trap and a Steady Shot. Punch him in the face a little bit. And next turn we can go for a Yeti Leaper turn, which is pretty strong. Assuming he doesn't have Charge Murloc in hand to pop that. Okay. So if he's attacking with anything, it's definitely Murkai, and Murkai is going to bounce to the hand, leaving us with a nice, strong... Yeah. So this turn we can Yeti, Leaper... Now that he's on the back foot, no, we want to kill that at least. We don't care so much about the totem. Like, let him kill something with the Searing Totem. It's not a big deal. Like, the Spider Tank has already gotten a ton of value in.
You cannot stop the cloud here.
Interesting. I was not expecting to see that. Good on that. So here we're going to Animal Companion.
My time.
That's not a Leok, but we'll take it. We'll go ahead and drop Paladin Shredder. And we'll just take him and deal with the board. I mean, he's pretty much got to kill off Misha. He can Murkai, but he can't do much else because it costs more. I have a feeling he's just dead here. And I'm happy drawing cards. Alright. So he's got a Tidecaller. He's got a Seer. I mean, that's all well and good. But he's just dead.
You win this one.
Yeah, so... they're pretty straightforward games. I mean, matches like this are not particularly complicated. I throw dudes at them. They answer or they don't. I tend to not be on the back foot against most other aggro decks, unless they just get off to a great start and I get off to a horrible one, but I mean, that just happens sometimes. And right now, what we need is just some sort of
Anduin.
solid answers.
The light shall
All
bring
right.
victory.
Clockwork Gnome,
Let the hunt
Paladin Shredder,
begin.
and Gorilla Bot is a terrible hand against Priest. I don't mind the Clockwork Gnome except for the part where it's bad against Northshire, but I would have rather seen something a little more interesting. Alright. So we'll run out of the gnome. We're probably just going to be shooting him next turn. I assume we're going to see a Cleric, because Cleric is really good here. No, that makes this much better, especially with to potentially have a nice strong line next turn. granted, it's only going to be so strong. We're only getting a discount. But, really. Alright, so Yeti on turn 3. Now we're curving. Mech Warper is still alive next turn, then it's Spider Tank Leaper game, probably. Because I can't picture him getting back in after that. If he doesn't
Is
have
someone
pain
injured?
here, he's probably just boned. I don't care about a Power Word Shield. I don't care about a second Power Word Shield. So yeah, we're going to Spider Tank Leaper. I could kill off his Cleric, technically. But why the hell would I do that when I've got a 2-turn clock? Yeah. I suggest you have something really good in hand. Like three mana Holy Novas or something? Or 3-0 mana Holy Novas? Villain's Chosen there is not saving him. Neither is Inner Fire.
You have been.
Yeah. And that's that. Now it should be a streak. Yay, we're ranked up. I believe we're ranking up. Because that's, kind of what we're trying to do here. Hopefully in a few more ranks things smooth out a little bit as far as what we're playing against, and we can start playing decks that I actually enjoy, like Reno Dragonlock or something, even Druid. That's more fun, but I don't like the inconsistency of Druid. You can just get a terrible opening hand and be dead. Says the person who likes Reno decks. Yes, it's funny. But
I will fight with honor.
Alright, so this
Let
hand
the
is
hunt
trash right
begin.
now. It's much better now, but I'd still rather see... Okay, fine. I guess I'm just playing Mech Warper into Mech Warper.
Get in there and fight, maggot!
But apparently I'm not doing it. Sorry, there's a bug flying around in here. I can at least Mech Warper. No. And then next turn I can 1-mana Mech Warper. I mean, a 1-mana Mech Warper on 2 is fine, I guess.
Shields off. Red
But
alert.
that mini but's gonna be a pain in my ass. I assume my opponent's... Really? Okay, he can go face all he wants. Because... It turns out...
Powering up.
I also want to go face. I think I race stronger weapons. And next turn, if he's still going face, I've got a 2-mana Yeti. If he starts trying to clean up my board, I can still cast Yeti. Or Companion, either way. Okay.
Reporting for
So
duty.
is he going face or is he punching my dude? Yeah. So suddenly he's changed his mind about trying to race me down, which is not surprising in the slightest. So here we Yeti, trade, and I'm gonna clean that up just because we really don't like Blessing. And now we've kind of got the tempo lead on the board thanks to our fairly aggressive opening hand.
the rules.
Okay. So we're going to quick shot this, play a Secret Keeper, and a couple of fairly soft attacks.
Put this apple on your head.
Okay.
Reporting for duty. Reporting for duty.
I mean, we
Reporting
don't
for
seem to be
duty.
having too bad of luck here. Alright. So we can Yeti armor plating. We can Yeti and armor plating our Mech Warper. Or we can Yeti and armor plating our Yeti and trade our mech warper. I mean, I think our mech warper is worth trading. Our freezing trap isn't going to end up doing that much. Unless he decides to Blessing of Kings,
My
which would be
shield
lovely.
for
Or
Argus.
Defender, that works too. We get some additional value by losing him one of his Defender triggers.
Reporting for duty.
So this turn we're going to drop Leok, or try to drop Leok. Let's see if we can get lucky.
To my side.
That's not Leok, but we can play Zuka. See if we get lucky. Since we didn't get lucky, we're going to use our Glaive Zuka here. Punch there. We'll go ahead and play this up, since next turn we're booming. Just making a nice 5-5 on Misha. And right now we've got 10 power with a boom in hand that we can play next turn into an empty board. I don't hate it. Alright, so we're getting consecrated, but that's fine. Equality consecrate is perfectly acceptable here, I assume. I mean, even better. So healbot, that's fine. We just boom. Trade these two in here. Punch here. We've got a reversing switch, which would be funny if he has like a Doomsayer in hand or something. Reversing switch is always great against Doomsayers. Let's see what he's got for us.
Reporting for duty.
Uh-oh. Don't play that, that Silver Kind Recruit on me.
Shields up. Red alert.
That's scary. Alright. Well, Annoyatron seems good here. It's usually a pretty good one to play. And at this point, we really don't give a damn what's in his hand. Because he's miles behind us. Yeah. I can't see him coming back from this, because a Consecrate here has the strong potential to kill him. I mean, it's his only line of play is Consecrate and clean up my board from there. But even then, I've got Boom left, and yeah, I don't think he's in a very good spot here. I'm not sure what he's planning to do, except try to get Boombots without dying. Doesn't seem to be working. Yeah. So he suicides. Good with it. Next match. And what have we got now? Shaman.
Versus Thrall.
Tends to go pretty well.
For Doomhammer.
Most of them
Let
can't
the
get on the
hunt
front foot against
begin.
me. This hand is not where we want to be against a shaman, but and if we get a worse or similarly bad opener, then we might be in trouble. Yeah. So this is actually going to be an interesting matchup, mostly just because our opener is trash. I don't like shamans when I don't have ways to get aggressive enough that they can't get in my face. That tends to get pretty bad pretty quickly. Wow.
Job's done.
Because that's exactly what I needed to curve out, right there. I mean, I was really worried I wouldn't have my 7 drop. Yeah. So, I feel like we would almost not be premature if we scooped now. But we're not going to for obvious reasons. Drop Scientist, get a freezing trap for free. We got another freezing trap in hand. Maybe we can slow him down enough to not die. I doubt it, but maybe. It's worth a shot. Oh my god, we're so... I mean, we're... No, he's actually being nice enough to give us our freezing trap. And if he swings with his 3-2 first, that's really good. We can always hope our opponent misplays. It's always value. I'm actually not sure why he killed my Secret Keeper there at all, because if that was Explosive Trap, it'd be really bad. Granted, Explosive Trap kind of fallen out of vogue, but it's still plausible. Alright, so here I think we just go ahead and quick shot off this thing. Pass it back. Next turn we've got a Yeti to try and start establishing enough of a board that he's actually got to worry about it. Alright, now we might have a real hand, or real turn next turn. Alright. So this turn we're going to Mech Warper into Gnome into Steady Shot.
Hurry up!
Or we could Mech Warper Gnome into Quick Shot to kill off his Oracle, which probably actually stronger. Or we could Freezing Trap so that he recasts his Oracle and gives us more value. I like that, actually, because our deck has all the powerful mech synergies versus his powerful Murloc synergies. What can possibly go wrong? Aside from, you know, dying horribly. But hey. Alright. So next turn, we're probably going to get more cards, which I always approve of. We've got this Quick Shot left over. We could also Mech Warper into Yeti into Quick Shot, which is generally not bad at all.
Hurry up!
Mech Warper, Yeti. We're going to go ahead and Quick Shot on that. And do the trading. If he wants to trade, he does it. Because I'm fine racing, I think. Whirling Blades, never bad. Especially when you're trying to beat down. Okay then. Reversing Switch. Fascinating. Not good, but fascinating. Okay, good, because we can kill his totem. And then we can companion. Hitting Leok, of course. Because why would we hit something we wanted to hit? We can shot, we can punch, and leave him cleaning up the board again while we boom next turn. So it could be worse. Unless, of course, we just die here, which is always possible. But I think he's probably using that to deal with either Leok or the Warper. Yeah, so he's cleaning up... I assume he's cleaning up my board now. Yeah. I'm okay with him cleaning up my board because I've got boom. Dr. Boom is actually pretty strong against a bunch of one-butts. Who knew? And I thought I clicked enter. Do that now.
Join or die, or both.
Okay. So he's just desperate to deal with boom. good. It means we're still ahead. But if he leaves Boom alive, I'm going to think that's a little odd. So I'm guessing there's a shock here of some sort. If you rock Biter's Boom, we'll be happy. So we get to keep Boom. We also get to... Wait, he's at 19. We have 9, 13, 14, 17.
I wonder.
Hang on, let's map this out right. So we've got 6, 13, 16. Yeah, we don't kill him this turn. We're 1 mana short of lethal. But hey, we leave him dead to boombots. I'll take it.
You win this one.
And apparently he just did the same math. But I do feel like I dicked that it took me a second to decide what I was doing there, but I was worried about a potential aggro turn and wanted to be sure that I had him nearly dead to literally anything. We're up to 16 now. That makes me feel a little more comfortable with season progress. We're finally getting somewhere, which is good. Today's stream is probably going to be ending in a couple more games just because it's getting on in the afternoon and there's a few things I need to do, but we'll see how it goes. Another sort of hunter. Hopefully something with smaller creatures so that I can get ahead of it.
Bring it on.
I mean, this hand is fine. I don't want to run Leaper out on just Mech Warper, but realistically I'll probably have something else to do with it. Alright, so this hand just got better because I've got a 4-drop to run out with the Mech Warper.
Traveler. Greetings, traveler.
So yeah. Now we just Mech Warper and start punching.
Don't worry, I'll fix
And we
you.
can start dropping shredders on him. And once we get a couple of shredders out, if we can keep the board relatively clean, if we get a couple of shredders out, then we can Metal Tooth and just crush him. Or we can Gorilla Bot. Because Gorilla Bot is beautiful, beautiful. Oh, look at that. Another Leaper. I approve that.
I'll fix you.
So next turn we can double Leaper for, let's see, 6, 8, plus 12 is 20. So yeah, I think we're just going to double Leaper next turn, and he'll probably scoop after we do that.
I'll fix you.
Wait, not 20, but still, he's at 6. We're comfortable with this.
Well played.
I assume he's going to
My
scoop sometime
apologies.
soon. Because, yeah, there's nothing he can do here.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Well fought. I concede.
Yeah, we just curved out all over his face. And it was a vaguely polite there, but we're not trying to make friends. We're trying to win games. I mean, here in my stream, I'd love to be friends with all of you. Really, I'm not a massive ass. I can't even keep a straight face saying I'm not a massive asshole. Fuck that noise. I'm a dick. Yeah, we're not trying to be nice. We're trying to crush this dude's soul. We want to win. We want to rank up. Fuck the other player. Let's murder some hoes.
Rexa versus Rexa.
Let the hunt begin.
Bring it on.
Yeah, I think this is going to be my last one for the day, just because there are things I got to do, so. Go ahead and wrap up, hopefully on a high note. We can Cogmaster into a turn 2 Spider
Get in
Tank,
there and
potentially.
fight, maggot.
odd to see a turn 1 abusive sergeant naked, but we'll take it. So next turn we can go into spider tank, which puts us in a strong place racing if he wants to race, which I doubt he does, judging by our start. Yeah, he's going to Glaive Zuka. He's going to use Glaive Zuka to kill my Cogmaster. This spider tank is really good here. Catches us right back up on the board. He's got to use 2 cards to deal with that, most likely. I mean, there isn't like a single card situation.
I'll show them.
Okay, Secret
I'll
Keeper.
show
I assume he's running freezing traps as well.
Icky.
We've got one in our hand. Or we can Annoyatron into a no. Because we do not give a fuck about the Secret Keeper existing. He can sit there and bounce his dudes off of my Annoyatron. At least 2 of them. Granted, one of them is going to live, but I don't care.
Put this apple on your head.
Alright, so he might be able to pop the shield if he's lucky. Guess he doesn't have any more creatures to drop. Yeah. So it looks like we are racing. Which is no longer fine with me because of this board state. Let's try this and see what we can get. Misha means I am back to being comfortable racing. I just kill off his Knife Juggler here. Time Rewinder could have some fun with a potential Metal Tooth Leaper down the road. So yeah. We just get back on the front foot in the race. I assume he's about to have a freezing trap on the board because of that Secret Keeper he's going to trade into Misha. I assume he's going to trade into Misha. Which is odd. I mean, I've been showing him pretty severe interest in going face. I would think at some point in there he would want his Scientist dead. But hey. So we're going to Gorilla Bot, see what we get. I mean, I don't hate Fell Reaver here if we can stay alive, but Demolisher might be better for keeping the board clear, since we seem to be losing this race. No, let's play Fell Reaver. And apparently we're going to kill his Leper Gnome, go to 8, take the next turn. We'll be at 5, take another 2. We're probably just dead here. Oh, yeah, we're dead.
Well played.
But that's what happens. I mean, aggro mirrors are fun. By fun, I mean completely boring and non-interactive. Well, we made it up to ring 15 today. I don't feel terrible about that. Thanks for coming out and watching. We'll be back probably sometime tomorrow.